Hello. I am Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Central Texas. And today you will be watching this very helpful video on the top 5 suburbs in Austin. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 neighborhood suburbs in Austin, or actually around Austin. If this is your first time on my channel, or maybe you've just been watching my channel and not been able to make the commitment of subscribing, now is the time. Now is the time to subscribe and click that notification button so you get notified every time I do a video like this one. Also, please like my video because when you like it, it helps me and it helps me be able to do more videos like this one to keep you guys updated on the real estate market in Central Texas and things to do in Central Texas and just talking about cool neighborhoods to visit in Austin and San Antonio. So before we get started, I'm letting you know there are going to be 5 neighborhoods that we're talking about today. They're really in no particular order. I think all of them are great kind of for different reasons. It really comes down to what you like, what style of home you like, what your price range is, what you want to be close to, and really what your overall priorities are. So I'm just giving you some unbiased information. You make your decision and let's go. The first neighborhood that we're going to be talking about is Round Rock. Round Rock is located just north of Austin. So if you're looking at a map, you'll see Austin, then there's Flugerville, and then there's Round Rock. Depending from what part of Austin you're coming from, it can take anywhere from like 40 minutes to get to Round Rock up to maybe 15 minutes, or as little as 15 minutes. Round Rock is one of the more established suburbs in the Austin area. It started to really take off, I want to say it was like in the early 2000s, when the Dell campus opened up. The Dell campus is located just north of Highway 45, which is one of our toll roads, and Highway 35. So it's really central. So near that Dell campus, you see a lot of neighborhoods that started development in like the late 90s or early 2000s. There is a pretty big range of like the style of home that you can get in Round Rock. You can get kind of like older ranch style homes up to more luxury feeling homes in like a golf course community. Some of the biggest attractions in Round Rock, of course, are the schools. Round Rock has a lot of highly rated schools. It does depend what part of the town you're living in though. So if schools are a priority for you, make sure to hop on greatschools.org. They're not sponsoring this, by the way. That's just a tool I really like to use. But on greatschools.org, you can see what schools are rated the highest or the lowest depending on the city, location, etc. Another thing that's really popular in Round Rock, which you might laugh about, but it's actually kind of cool, are the Round Rock outlets. So the Round Rock outlets are located just north on Highway 35. There's a lot of variety there in terms of stores. They've got stores like Banana Republic, they've got like an Express, they've got PacSun, Hot Topic, Gap, Baby Gap, sports stores like Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, like I really could go on. It's set up like a little village and it's really attractive and it's kind of a nice thing to be able to go do if you've got some time off and you live in Round Rock or near Round Rock and looking to get some good deals on some new clothes. Another really cool attraction in Round Rock is their little vintage downtown little spot there on Main Street. There's a street of older buildings that have been fixed up or remodeled or like repurposed into restaurants and bars. There's a couple bars that have like rooftop patios. There's a couple offices too along that way, which is cute. It's also a really comfortable place to just like walk around and get some fresh air and just kind of go look at people and scenery. One of the biggest attractions though in downtown Round Rock is Round Rock Donuts. This place is, I feel like it's like world renowned. Well, not like world renowned, but like Texas renowned. A lot of times when tourists come into town, they go to Round Rock Donuts because the donuts are so good. They are made fresh daily in large quantities. And one of the things that sets these donuts apart from other donuts is that they use a lot of egg yolk in the dough, so they have more of a yellow tinge to them, and they have all sorts of flavors. And they also have like Texas-sized donuts, which are literally like this big. They're like as big as a baby. The next suburb that I want to talk to you about is Flugerville, which is located directly northeast of Austin. It's literally the first suburb that Austin touches when you go or when you look north on a map. It's located basically between IH 35 and just east of Highway 130, which is our toll road. Pflugerville used to be just kind of the sleepy little suburb and there wasn't very much going on there, but over the last few years, it has grown by leaps and bounds. Because Austin has gotten so expensive and so have some of the other surrounding suburbs, Pflugerville has been seeing a ton of development. So there's a lot of commercial development that has been going on there. So there's like more stuff to do, shopping, entertainment, movies. There's walking trails, neighborhoods with really great amenities. There's a couple golf course neighborhoods there. And of course, there's been a ton of demand for residential development. So there's a lot of new neighborhoods in Pflugerville as well. There's a lot of variety. If you like kind of more like vintagey homes with like gnarly trees that are more mature, that exists in Pflugerville. And if you really like more of a cookie cutter, like master plan community with tons of amenities, that exists in Pflugerville too. Parts of Pflugerville are still, I would say, relatively affordable compared to maybe Austin or Round Rock, which is just north of Pflugerville. And there's also other parts of the neighborhood that have a much more luxury feel to them, where you can get really spacious homes, like brand new homes that are going to be a lot more expensive and really offer that luxury look and feel. And they are just like overall really good quality in neighborhoods with highly rated schools. As far as things to do in Pflugerville, honestly, it is a lot of kind of big box type things. Pflugerville does have a really cute little tiny downtown area. It's maybe like 2 blocks long, but there's not a ton of things to do there. There's actually a couple shopping centers, but one major one, and it's all big box. I will say though, it's super convenient. You've got things like Home Depot, Target, there's a Ross, I think there's a Dollar Tree there, which is actually pretty nice. It's pretty well kept. There's also kind of like big box restaurants, coffee shops. There's a Costco there, which is actually a really big deal. And just overall living in Pflugerville is super convenient if you want to stay in Pflugerville proper, or it's super close to Austin and a couple other surrounding neighborhoods if you want to get out and go somewhere else to do your shopping and entertainment. The next suburb I will be telling you about is Cedar Park. Cedar Park is located northwest of Austin, and I personally feel that it's one of kind of like the higher end suburbs. It has Deer Creek Elementary, which is rated a 10 out of 10, which is amazing. That's like a unicorn for schools. There's a lot of variety in the types of neighborhood that Cedar Park has and the style of homes. So you can get something that's very much in a newer cookie cutter neighborhood. One of my favorite neighborhoods is Twin Creeks, which is like kind of like on the west side of Cedar Park. The Twin Creeks Country Club is located right in the middle of the neighborhood. All of the homes are so beautiful. They're so beautifully kept. It's very scenic. A lot of the neighborhood is on hills, so it's like you get kind of like scenery of rolling hills and canyons. It's got kind of an exclusive feel to it, and it's just really nice. And I think what's really cool about the Twin Creeks neighborhood, for instance, is that it feels like it's out in the middle of nowhere, but you're right there in Cedar Park. Cedar Park has a lot of newer developments. There's Lakeline Mall, which is like a normal mall, which is fine. You know, I definitely wouldn't say that's one of the biggest attractions. But then there's a couple other shopping centers like the Lakeline HEB Plus. There's tons of stuff to do around there. So you've got the HEB Plus. There's like nail salons. There's a cute little Italian restaurant there. There's a spa. There's an Alamo Draft House, which there's actually a bookstore over there. My office is over there, Realty Austin. Shout out, what's up? And there's just a lot of other like kind of like convenient big box, kind of like big label stores and amenities around. Cedar Park has grown so much in the last decade. A lot of that is due to the installation or expansion of Highway 183A, which is a toll road. It used to be just Highway 183, which became like Bell Boulevard or Bell Road, which is kind of like just like a farm road, and it was super slow. But anyway, the 183A has granted a ton of access, and it's helped developers develop more there. So there's just so much going on, and it's such a cool poppin' neighborhood or city to live in. The next suburb I'm going to tell you about is Leander. Leander is located north of Cedar Park. So if you want to get to Leander from central Austin, it's probably going to be about 45 minutes. It's actually kind of a long drive, and there's a lot of new developments coming up. So there is a lot of like empty land there still. So it kind of feels like you're driving through the middle of nowhere for a while. Full disclosure, but there are some massive projects coming up that are going to completely change the city. So if you want to get into Leander, like now is the time before all these developments come to fruition. And they're actually coming pretty soon within the next couple of years. Some of the cool things about Leander though, is that it has some really beautiful new home developments. There's a ton going on there and I could spend forever talking about it, but I actually did a video about Leander and all the growth and all the cool stuff going on there. So I'm just gonna put a link to that video somewhere along here and click on that if you wanna learn more about Leander. But currently, it's definitely a suburb and it does feel like a suburb. It kind of feels like you're in the middle of nowhere because you are in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty much, I mean, if you want to go anywhere, like to the grocery store, it's going to be like a 10 to 15 minute drive. However, most of the new neighborhoods have really wonderful amenities. So for instance, there's neighborhoods that have walking trails, gyms, community centers, playscapes, and some of the neighborhoods also have like elementary schools in them. So even though it is kind of a drive to go anywhere, you've got pretty much everything you would need right in the development. Lastly, I'm going to share with you information about the Bee Cave neighborhood located just west of Austin. It's like southwest. So we have a few major highways, one of them being Highway 71, which goes east and west. And Bee Cave is just west on Highway 71. If you look at the map, the way I'm doing, you'll see that it's just kind of this like weird splotchy shape that's just kind of all over on 71. What's really cool about Bee Cave is that there are a lot of newer developments there, and it's definitely considered one of the more high-end neighborhoods or towns, I guess, in Austin. What makes it so desirable is that they have some of the higher rated schools in the Austin area. Bee Cave is zoned for Lake Travis Independent School District, and I'm just gonna tell you really quick their top schools. So Lakeway Elementary School is rated a 9 out of 10. Lake Point Elementary School, also 9 out of 10, and Serene Hills Elementary School, 9 out of 10 as well. Side note, I get all this information from greatschools.org. As far as things to do in the Bee Cave area, it's like basically stuck to Lakeway. So it has fairly quick access to the lake if you like water and water activities. And then the Galleria is right there off of 71. The Galleria is kind of this outdoor shopping like village. One of the center points of it is like Whole Foods, which is kind of cool. You can go in and get some snacks there. Then there's a ton of restaurants, tons of shopping, and it's all very walkable. It's really nicely manicured and really well taken care of. Also, towards the middle, there's like this park area where people can meet up. Sometimes they do events there and gatherings and stuff like that. It's just a very comfortable place to live. Bee Cave is honestly kind of out of the way. If you like to spend time in central Austin and like to have really quick access to like the downtown area, it can take like 30, maybe 25 minutes to 35 minutes, depending on traffic, to get kind of to the central areas. But I think a lot of times folks that live in the Bee Cave area, they have so many of the things that they would need right there that they don't always feel the need to leave. But I mean, everything's accessible, like if you do want to go. Like I mentioned, there are a lot of newer homes there. You can get homes that are pretty spacious. I've had several clients buy and sell homes there that are anywhere from like the 2,500 square foot range up until like, I've seen homes that are like 6,000 square feet. It's known for having spacious homes, very much a luxury feel to it, highly rated schools, and just being a very comfortable place to live overall. So those are what I think the top suburbs in the Austin area. If you're curious about any of them or have questions, just please leave a comment. I'm actually going to be publishing some videos about each of these suburbs as well. I already have one on Bee Cave if you're curious about Bee Cave, but there's more videos coming. So if you want to learn more, just keep an eye out. And make sure to click that subscribe button and that notification button so you can get notified every time that I have a video about one of these neighborhoods and if you want to learn more. So I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Central Texas. If you're thinking about relocating or moving to the Central Texas area, please feel free to reach out. You can call me, email me, shoot me a text, or an Instagram DM, whatever works for you. If you're thinking about making a move, I got you.